Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. So this is the SST Edumedia. So my name is Assistant Professor Kumkum Gurbani. So today we will study about the commerce, that is class SYBCom. So my topic is recent trends in business. So we will study about what are the recent trends in business. So first part of the recent trend is liberalization, privatization and globalization. So these are the three parts of the recent trends. So first of all we will study about the liberalization, that what is the liberalization. So since the adoption of the new economic strategy in 1991, there has been a drastic change in the Indian economy. So with the arrival of the liberalization, the government has regulated the private sector organizations to conduct sectors and to conduct business transactions with the fewer restrictions. So for the developing countries, it is very important to opt for the liberalization. So these are the barriers including tax law, foreign investment restrictions and accounting. Economic liberalization reduce all the obstacles. So it is necessary to opt for the liberalization. So our objectives for the liberalizations are: first objective is to boost competition between the domestic businesses, and second one is to promote foreign trade and regulate imports and exports. Third is to provide the technology and foreign capital, because when the technology improved, so as per that the foreign capital also necessary. So to reduce the debt burden of the country, it is the main objective for the liberalization. So there are some of the reforms under the liberalization, that is the deregulation of the industrial sector, financial sector, tax reforms, foreign exchange reforms, trade and investment, policy returns, external sector reforms, foreign exchange reforms, foreign trade policy reforms. So these are the reforms under the liberalization which are very, very important. So everyone has the impact of it. So there are the positive impact and the negative impact of the liberalization in India. So now we will study about that what are the positive impact of the liberalization. First, that is the free flow of capital. In liberalization, there is a free flow of the capital and free flow of the capital by making it affordable for the business to reach the capital from investors and to take up profitable projects. Second is diversity for investors. So the investors will be benefited by investing a portion of their business into diversifying asset class. Third is impact on agriculture. In this area, the cropping designs have experienced a huge change, but the impact of the liberalization cannot be accurately measured. So government's restriction and inventions can be seen from the production to the distribution of the crops. So these are the positive impact of the liberalization in India, that it makes easy that free flow of capital, diversity of investors and impact on agriculture. So it has brings a drastic change in our Indian liberalization. So next we will see the negative impact also. The negative impact of the liberalization in India is the weakening of the economy. That is a major negative impact, I can say. So an enormous distorting of the political power and economic power will lead to weakening the entire economy. So the next negative impact is technological impact. Fast development in technology allows many small-scale industries and other business in India to either adjust to changes or shut their business, because to handle the technology is not an easier task in day-to-day life. So the third negative impact is mergers and acquisitions. Here the small-scale business merge with the big companies. So therefore, the employees of the small companies may need to enhance their skill and become technologically strong and advanced. So this enhancing of skills and the time it might take may lead to non-productivity and can be burden to the company's capital. So these are the negative impacts of the liberalization in India. So we have studied about the positive impact and the negative impact too. So next type we are moving to the privatization. Now what is the privatization? So privatization means the transfer of ownership, management and control of the public sector enterprises to the private sector. So it suggests several things including the migration of something from the public sector to private sector. So it is also a metonym for regularization when a massively regulated private firm or industry becomes less organized. So government services and operations. So in the circumstances, private entities are tasked with the applications and of government plans or the execution of the government assistance. So it has been earlier measure of the state-run companies. So here are some instances involved in law enforcement, revenue collection and prison management. So this is the meaning of the privatization. So as the liberalization have some objectives, the privatization also have some objectives. So come on, we will learn about the objectives of the privatization. So providing strong momentum for the inflow of FDI. So privatization aims at providing a strong base for the inflow of FDI. So the increased inflow of FDI improves the financial strength of the economy. So our next objective is to improving the efficiency of public sector undertakings, that is the PSUs. So the efficiency of PSUs is improved by giving them the autonomy to make decisions. So some companies were given special categories of Navratna and Mini Ratna. So there are ways of privatization. How to opt for the privatization? So government companies are transferred into private companies in two ways. First, there is a transfer of ownership. So government companies can be converted into the private companies in the following two ways: by the withdrawal of the government from the ownership and management of the public sector companies, by the outright sale of public sector companies, and by the de-investment also. The next procedure is de-investment. So the privatization of the public sector undertakings by selling off parts of the equity of PSUs to the private sector is known as de-investment. So the purpose of the sale is mainly to provide financial discipline and facilitate modernization. So there are some methods of the privatization. Let's see what are that. So the first method is public sale of shares. We can sell the public shares. Second, there is a public auction, that will be the transparent platform, and next it is the public tender and direct negotiations and transfer of control of enterprises that were controlled by the state or by municipalities. So lease with a right to purchase. These are the 6 methods of privatization. So now we have learned about the liberalization and the privatization, what are the objectives, what are the ways. So next we are moving to the globalization. So that is the third part of the recent trend in business. So let's see what is globalization. So as the term refers globalization, it refers to the integration of the economy of the nation with the world economy. So it is a multifaceted aspect. So it is a result of collection of multiple strategies that are directed transforming the world towards a greater independence and integration. So it includes the creation of networks and pursuit transforming social, economically and geographical barriers. So globalization tries to build links in such a way that the events in India can be determined by the events in happening distances away. So to put in other words, globalization is the method of integration and union among people, cooperation and government universally. So there are some effects of globalization in India. So let's see what are the effects of the globalization in India. In India, it is one of the countries that succeeded significantly after the initiation and implementation of the globalization. So the growth of foreign investment in the field of corporate, retail and the scientific sector is enormous in this country. So it also has a tremendous impact on the social, monetary, cultural and political areas. So in recent years, globalization has increased due to improvement in transportation and information technology. As information technology is changing day-to-day life, so it is very important to how to use that. So with the improved global synergies comes the growth of the global trade, doctrines and culture. So globalization have brought many advantages for our country, that is India. So first advantage is increase in employment. Globalization have created an employment opportunities for the freshers and for the experienced person also. So with the opportunity of the special economic zones, there is an increase in the number of new jobs available. So including the export processing zones, that is EPZ center in India is very useful in employing thousands of people. So another additional factor in India is cheap labor. Second advantage is increase in compensation. So after globalization, the level of compensation has also increased compared to the domestic companies due to the skill and knowledge a foreign company offers. Third is high standard of living. Because of the globalization, now the standard of living of the people have been increased. So without the break of the globalization, the Indian economy and the standard of living of the individual has increased. So this changes notified with the purchasing behavior of a company, of a person or of an organization, you can say, especially with those who are associated with foreign companies. So here are many cities are undergoing a better standard of living along with the business development. So as the job opportunity will increase, so the standard of the people also will increase. So they don't have to follow any basic needs. They have more things other than basic needs. So people are living to the fullest. So these are the advantages of globalization in India. So I must say the globalization have such a great advantages. So increase in employment, that is a major part because everyone needs employment to handle their family, to take care of their family and their needs. And next, India increase in compensation, that is also a major platform. And the last, that is a high standard of living. So here we have completed the recent trends of business, that is the liberalization, globalization and privatization. Thank you so much.